Congratulations, and a warm welcome to you on this very cold Sunday.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, but a brief background on yourself.
I grew up in Bosman, Vleerhof. I'm 56 years old. I'm the oldest of 6. We lost 2 siblings. Recently, my only brother, the rest are sisters. And I'm a freelance facilitator on supply chain management for various training institutions. And I've got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl, Shanwaz, Aisha, and Ashik. I've been married twice, and that's me.
So lots of experience in there. Three kids. What are the ages?
Ashik is 30, Aisha is 32, Shanwaz is 35, and my granddaughter is 11 years old.
Oh, you're a granddad as well. Fantastic. So you've got 2 layers of experience to offer other dads.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm the only dad that made history at Garden City Clinic that was in the theater with my daughter. She had a cesarean section. My granddaughter's father wasn't there. He's absent. He's an absent father. So I'm basically her father.
Wow. Okay. And that's actually something I want to touch on in a short while.
Sure.
Because, so are you aware that you were nominated for this award by your sister?
Yes, Tahira, my baby sister.
Yeah. So she's the one who nominated you. And
yes.
we normally ask our entrants to describe, there's a few specific questions that they need to answer based on which the judges will review the entries. So her entry description of you was as follows, and I'm going to read that out.
Okay.
As a dad, I've watched him selflessly give to his kids, even as adults. He is the first dad that I've met who was in the delivery room with his daughter, who's a single mom. That speaks of his commitment to his kids. As my eldest brother, he has taken the fatherly role to a new level. His level of worry and concern for his 3 youngest sisters is definitely a quality that Allah has granted him by default to the elder sibling. He is a dad to many. His integrity is unsurpassed. Being a facilitator and trainer in the procurement and compliance fields, additional to his set course material, he has adjusted his teaching to inculcate the ethos of doing the right thing at all times. That was the entry description from your sister, the chunk of which swayed the judges, I think, completely towards you coming out as the winner. There's a lot in here. How do you feel listening to that?
Okay. Oh, I feel so proud. We're very close, the 2 of us, oldest and youngest. And yeah, passion and integrity to what I do, especially in the procurement field with regard to tenders. I feel very strong about what's happening with regard to the PPE tenders and things like that. So in my teaching, I teach about more life and integrity, doing the right thing, appreciating an attitude of gratitude with my delegates. So I try and focus strongly on that when I do the teaching as well, with my kids and the family as well, to apply the integrity, because that is the way we should live, regardless of what persuasion, religion, race. If everybody just have that attitude that we have to do because someone is watching, do the right things when nobody's watching.
Absolutely.
And I just want to add on that. My dad created this template because he came from a poor background. He was one of the first non-white businessmen back in those days. And his primary objective in life, even before he passed on, was to give to his children. He never wanted to receive, he always wanted to give. And I just take that template, you know, and he was also the oldest brother of his family. So he had that role. So I just take that template and I adapt it accordingly.
So while we're on your dad, actually, would I be safe to say that your dad would have been your role model? He would have been your role model as a father.
Absolutely, absolutely. My mom's still around. We're very close. I'm the oldest son. I'm the only son left. So we're very close. And she also applies that integrity that you can't do the wrong thing and you just need to do the right thing. You make mistakes and you make up for it. And parenting is not a textbook. It's not something you can teach. It's something that you, as you go on, and I was still very young when my kids, I grew up with my kids. I was the mother at the schools. I knew their diaries. I knew their teachers, with no disrespect to their mother. It's just the role that I took. I was like that. I was in the school committee. I was part of the sport and those type of things. So as you can see with my daughter, I went to each gynae visit. I knew exactly the size of the head of my granddaughter. Each and every visit I was there because she had nobody. And they lived with me till the age of 28, 29. They all on their own now.
Wow, that's what I would describe as somebody who's very hands-on, literally in all sense, because a lot of times you find, you know, the roles get separated and sometimes they need to, but oftentimes dads are sometimes ill-informed or less informed about what they're meant to do and the actual role that they need to play and the specifics that they need to have. So you're certainly setting a good example here. Tell me, how do you feel about winning this award?
Oh, I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it because it's something I always emphasize with my sisters. We're very close. We talk about it a lot. And sometimes I have to admit, I do feel unappreciated for what I've done to my kids. But I've adapted that ethos of unconditional love. It's my kids. I don't expect anything in return. All I can do is pass on what to do in life and how to live your life. That's all.
That's very noble. That's very noble. What is it about being a dad that you enjoy the most?
I think it's just the love, and it's so amazing that you actually have this different type of love when it comes to your granddaughter. And it's just that love, you know, and you say, this is my kids. These are my kids. They got the same blood running through their veins. They make mistakes. And I think just enjoying that. And sometimes you actually wrap yourself on the knuckles and you say, but you know what, maybe I should have done it the other way. All the time. You sit and think, perhaps I should have told him that, my daughter that. You know, it's not something that you can say that I did the right thing. Most times I think, did I do the right thing? Did I not? It's not easy. It's not easy, definitely, because what I also find with kids, they have a very different personality. My oldest son is an extrovert. My daughter and my youngest son, my oldest son's an introvert, then they extrovert. So you have to manage them differently. In terms of discipline as well, you have to be more strict on the one than the other one. Like my oldest son, he's more like a homeboy. He'll sit at home, he doesn't go to parties and things like that. So yeah, that's how we manage them. And the same with my nieces and nephews, because now they all look to me because I'm the wakil of the family. So when the sisters have an issue, they will ask me, now what do I do?
Okay.
And I must now sit and adapt and think, wait, that one's got a very aggressive personality. Be careful how you manage that one and so on.
So your
But yeah,
experience has taught you to tailor your management and your parenting of each child based on where they come from. It's not a one size fits all.
no, no, no. It's a difficult thing. It's not easy, especially these days. Especially these days, it's not easy. Back in the old days, it was discipline, discipline. You do the right thing or you get the hiding. These days, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You root to your mom or dad, you get it in the mouth.
So obviously being a busy dad takes a lot out of you. And you also need time for yourself to be able to recharge your batteries, to be able to be able so that you can be better at being a father. What do you do to make time for yourself? Or how do you make time for yourself?
Well, I read a lot. I enjoy sport. I love football. Yeah, and that's it. And I spend a lot of time with my mother because she had a stroke a few weeks ago, and with COVID and all that. So I spend a lot of time with her. We play cards because that's all we can do these days. We can't go out. And that's what I do. Or I'll speak to my sisters. We're very close, especially after we lost our brother in 2019. So yeah, mainly read. I read a lot, and I like football, sport, and that's what I do.
The fact that you are actively spending time with your mom sends out a very positive message to your kids about the relationship between, a child and the parent. So that's actually reinforcing what you're doing actively as a parent.
Absolutely, yes. Because we thought we're going to lose her 2 years ago already. And, I've had a better relationship because I'm a boy with my mom and I'm the oldest child. So I always had a better relationship with her. My father was very old school, very hard. He wasn't more as expressive as my mom because of the way they grew up.
Okay.
But his primary concern was to see to us materially and things like that. He was always at work. He was never at home. He was a hard worker, high work ethic. He was always at work.
And that in itself takes a lot out of you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it does. It's not easy, definitely not.
What are some of the challenges that you face as a dad and which might be common with other dads? What are some of the challenges that you face?
Well, respect. Sometimes I think they don't appreciate and respect. It's a generation thing. And I find that a lot with other dads and moms. It's the way things are these days. The kids just don't have that same old school respect and values and principles that we used to have. And sometimes I can get very mad because then I take 2 steps back and sort of breathe and say, let me not react to this now. And then I react to it in a decent way. And I will say 2 things like to my daughter, like, how would you like your daughter to be so disrespectful to you as you was to me? And then she'll apologize. They'll always apologize.
Okay.
And that's life. That's life. We're not perfect.
How do you think people or society around can assist in that particular challenge that you're talking about?
Well, I think
with the generational level of respect that's less now than it was before. How do you think people around and society in general can assist in kind of turning this around or improving this area?
Yeah, what I've realized is they're a divorced generation. It's broken homes. Their friends got broken homes. I always used to take a lot of interest in my kids' friends, and they had many. And most of them come from abused backgrounds, abused relationships. I think we just need to apply the old school values and principles with less discipline like the old people used to do it. Just less aggressive hidings and things like that, and become more of a friend to your kids. a good parent is where a kid will come to you with anything and discuss it with you, and then you know your job's done. They'll rather come to you first and say, Dad, can you give me some advice? I got a problem with my friend or with my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whatever. And if you got that right, and if everybody can just get that right and realize that, look, it's a different generation, it's a different way of doing things. Let us all just try and respect each other and have integrity and values in what we do. And that should be okay.
So create an environment whereby your kids feel comfortable in coming to speak to you.
Yes, about anything.
Mm.
Anything, like a friend. You have to balance your parenting style. Friend with discipline, and also show authority that you are the father, you the parent. Balance the two. That's it. Balance the two.
Okay. Fantastic.
Okay.
One of the things your sister highlighted, we asked what have you learned from your nominee, and she said that you have taught her that integrity is never for sale. Integrity should never be displayed in a proud manner, but rather with humbleness or humility. And
Yeah,
having this conversation with you, that stood out quite a bit in terms of integrity as a key component of your character.
Yeah. You see, she's also a single parent, so she takes a lot from what she's seen. And they used to fight with me, the sisters, and say, why are your kids still with you? They're over 21. Why are they still living with you? Now, when they're gone, I realize how much I miss them. Because whether they're 25 or 30 years old, they're still children and they still make mistakes. And you're there to try and fix it and make it easier for them to cope with. And they used to fight with me and say, but they're 30 years old, they're still living with you. When are they don't pay rent, they don't help you with anything. I say, it doesn't matter. That is what you need to do as a father, as a parent. It's not about the material things. Yes, you must teach them responsibility, but at least they're under your nose and you can see what they're doing. Especially today, you've got to be so careful with some of their friends are on drugs, alcohol, and those type of things. So yeah, my sisters both are single parents. It's only my older sister that's still married. So it's more difficult for them because Tahira's got 2 girls, Zubaira's got 2 boys, and she comes from an abusive marriage. So they take a lot from what I tell them and say, look, just do for your kids, because especially Zubaida, she comes from an abusive marriage. Just try and be there for your kids and don't try and change them now because they've seen what you go through and the cycle continues. If he abused you, your son is going to do the same to his wife and kids.
Sure, you've got to actively break that cycle. As a parent,
Yeah.
you've got to break that cycle, otherwise it keeps on continuing thereafter. And that takes a lot. It takes a lot of support, takes a lot of courage from the person themselves. But I think having a support structure around to guide them through that is something that every parent would appreciate.
Absolutely. But I just need to share the story quickly with you. My daughter, her name's Aisha, obviously fathers and daughters, and she's the one with a granddaughter. So she was a 8-month premature baby that heart and lungs collapsed when she was a baby. So she actually died and came back to life.
Wow. Okay.
But my wife had a cesarean section, and for 2 weeks we never told her that the doctor said she's not going to make it.
Okay.
So I just thought, okay, it's fine. I don't know her. She's a newborn. She's going to go. But the day I went into the ICU unit, she sort of grabbed my pinky and asked me, Dad, please, I don't want to go. So I went to, my uncle came in there. He said, Yunus, go to Juma, go give out bread, come back. This was still Brenter's clinic. I came back. I said, please change her to the other neonatal where the one baby that was worse than her survived. They did that and she came, she was okay.
Wow.
Today, her heart and lungs collapsed. She can sing.
Wow.
She can sing. So yeah, she's very special to me. Very demanding. She was very demanding growing up. Very demanding. But the doctor said she would be because she's the way she suffered at birth.
And
So,
you've managed to parent her through that, to be a father to her through that until the age that she's at now.
yes.
You know, as an adult that you are probably, not probably, you're very certainly proud of, you know, the where your kids are as adults.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so proud of them because they got the dean, they got the integrity, they don't do drugs. Allah shukr for that. Their friends are doing drugs and things like that. So I know and I can see they can't lie to me. So, you know, and that's for me, and she's a good single mother, my daughter, very good single. Maya, my granddaughter, is very happy. She's a happy child, confident, happy, intelligent, compassionate. You know, she won't even kill an ant, things like that. Yeah, so that makes me happy.
Well, fantastic. She's got a good mom and she's got a super granddad. Not just a super dad, but a super granddad. Yunus, one last thing I want to ask you. What is some advice that you would share with other dads who are watching this interview? What's some advice that you can assist with that you've been through to your experiences with your kids and now your grandkid, being through 2 marriages as well, and all the challenges that you faced? What's some golden advice that you would pass on to other dads?
I'd say always be hands-on. You know, there's times when you come home, and especially these days, jobs are demanding. You come home in a bad mood and things like that. Never, ever show your mood. Be consistent with your discipline. Be consistent with what you say and what you practice because they look at you. You can't stand with a cigarette and say, I don't want you to smoke because I say so. You need to set an example and you need to be a leader. That's the key word. Be a leader to them so that they can take your template and pass it on to their generations. Always be hands-on and know what they're up to and what they're doing. And speak to them with respect, not like they're your kids. Like you're speaking to an elderly, speak to them the same. And that works for me. I've made mistakes. There's times I lost it, like we all do. And then I sit, and even if you have to say, I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I apologize. Always say maaf, because Allah forgives who are we. We always need to make sure that we respect them as well.
Most certainly, most certainly. Yunus, it has been a fantastic chat with you. I don't know if I'm going to share the screen with you, so you can see this will come to you on email.
Okay.
That's what we can offer you at the SuperDad for now, is a certificate just to honor you for what you've been doing over the years. As a dad community, we want to honor you and acknowledge you. I know, I'm certain your kids and your family around find you invaluable. But from the SuperDad Network, we want to honor you and say we hear you and we see you. And it's a sterling effort that you're doing. And we would, at the first available opportunity, when we are allowed to have events again, and we do have a SuperDad event, you're going to be sharing the microphone with us at some point. So we'll keep you updated on that. But fantastic job that you're doing, and keep doing the good work. It's been very, very informative talking to you and listening to you. I'm sure we could have had a longer interview.
Yes.
But thank you very much for your time, and thank you for doing the fantastic work that you're doing as a dad and now as a granddad.
And to you, Khalid, thank you for the initiative. We need things like this. You know, we need to be praised as dads, because it's not easy. And I just want to say good work to you guys. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care, and we'll speak again.